Good evening and welcome. We are live from everybody's living room. We have Sasuke's recovery mission coming at you right now. Updated live, all the fights. We're going to see who's winning, who's losing, who's dying, who's not, all the theories about it. It's me, Asher, and Zach, as always. Team 7. I assume if you're at the end of the series, there's no way this is your first one. So let's go ahead and get started. We saw we have a bigger batch. It was 10 episodes this time, right? And then we saw a lot of fights and we left on a pretty good cliffhanger. So this one's set up in a weird way that we can just kind of talk about all of them at once because they're so intertwined the way that they go back and forth between them. So, but we can start with Neji's fight, which happens first. What'd y'all think?
Oh my god, dude! If these people start dying, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna freaking lose it. If Tsunade doesn't send some of the ladies out or something, send a medic team. What's gonna happen here? I don't know.
We definitely saw a lot of tributes, a lot of sending aways.
Yep, we did. It was sad. Lots of sad stuff.
I will say, though, in the spirit of trust issues, because everyone got one, I was like, they're all alive. That's my gut now.
That's
if
not.
it was just Choji, I would be like,
not everybody got one because like Shikamaru didn't need one. Neither did Kiba and Akamaru. I mean, we got some like.
Well, Kiba's isn't done.
throwbacks.
And the last thing we saw with Kiba was not good. And he definitely got a flashback with the story of Akamaru's intro to his life. And
what was before I say anything, what was the last episode you watched?
124.
Okay, so Konkoro shows up and saves Kiba.
Oh, that's right.
I'm an idiot. Tamari saves Shikamaru, and then Gaara, Rock Lee of all people.
I forgot about it.
Dude.
Not only did they show up, they announced that they're allies of the Leaf Village.
Dude, I'm so excited. I love it. I'm not a big fan of
so happy.
Not a big fan of Marvel's Avengers, but
I will say
that's a different podcast.
He had his eyeliner on still, but I saw it in a whole new light this time.
Yeah, baby.
Like, that dude is just intimidating on the good guy side.
I'm so excited.
So he, as in Gaara, has a new outfit. Did y'all notice that?
Oh yeah. It's bad.
Oh yeah. And a new haircut.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
He's more put together. He's a different person. Which
the way they
go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you go.
Just the way they introduce themselves too. They're like, we're Shinobi, allies of the Hidden Leaf Village.
Yeah.
From the sand. I was like, yeah.
Dude, also there's Shinobi. Is that higher rank, or am I like misremembering the rankings?
Shinobi is ninja.
That's just ninja.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because for some reason when they said that, I was like, oh, did they like level up?
No, like they're all like a Genin to a Jonin is a Shinobi.
Okay.
Think of it this way. It's like Shinobi, you Shinobi.
All right, let's
get
cut that out. No, I'm just playing.
Get him out of here. I want the next frame of Zach to be like the cartoon, like cane coming around his neck and just like whoop, like out of frame. You know what I'm talking about?
You talking about like the shepherd's hook?
Yeah. What did I say?
Yeah.
Cane.
You said Cane.
Was Cane not good enough for you?
I mean,
you trying to low Bo Peep me, bro?
What are you, like the Undertaker? You're not a big Cane guy? Let's get back on track. I don't know. How do we get here?
So we can get back to the Sand Shinobi later. I want to talk about this fight with Neji and the Spider guy.
Here's the thing.
Because
this is my least favorite version of Spider-Man. out of all
That's
the
what I was gonna
Spider-Man in
say.
the Spider-Verse.
I was gonna say that
I
the
hate him.
Japanese Spider-Man is not a good one.
We finally got a name too. Hidomaru.
Really, I didn't even pick up on it. I don't think I could tell you
Hidomaru.
any besides Kimimaru. I don't think I could tell you any of the 4.
Tayuya?
I only know 3. Tayuya, Jirobo,
Jirobo.
and Kidomaru. But I don't know the dual head dude.
Oh, I jotted that down. That dude is.
Oh, okay. So
Whew.
this just came to my brain. I know that one is Seikon or
That must
I
be
think
it then.
Seikon is
And-
one of the 2 guys.
Sakon and Ukon is his brother.
Yeah, the 2 brothers.
Secondi's nuts.
Oh my god.
Hello. So
Happy. And then Kimimaru.
Yeah, Kimimaru is
cannot handle drunk Lee.
Drunken Fist, dude. That is so good.
The blushy
love that
cheeks
fight.
for me.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay,
It's a good
Neji.
one.
We're talking about Neji.
Yeah. Back
Yeah.
to the basics.
Basically, I just wanted to talk about how like it's so interesting because like for me, I'm super competitive. So like it was not natural for me to get beat by somebody and then immediately be like not only cool with them, but like want to team up with them. So the way, and especially the way that like Neji and Naruto, and that's the main thing I wanted to talk about, was just like how he like referenced Naruto, talked about Naruto, and like had several like flashbacks referring to Naruto. And obviously the show is named Naruto, but it's just interesting to see because it's like a 180 flip. And we'll talk about another 180 flip with Gar a little bit later. But yeah, I don't know if you guys had the same sort of impression. It just kind of stuck with me. I just Neji, as I've gotten older, because whenever I was a kid, I hated Neji. So as I've gotten older, yeah, I didn't like him. Like it didn't even like him in Shippuden, like at all, or Shippuden. I have to change my tongue to be correct. But yeah, so far this watch, especially, I really have grown to like him.
So I thought that his development I thought was like well earned and well documented and stuff. So I really enjoyed him like teaming up with everybody else. I thought it was great.
I guess I did kind of accidentally just give y'all spoilers. I'm so sorry.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I definitely did though, because I just immediately was like, I didn't like him in Shippuden, and then, but they left it on like a cliffhanger. So there's your answer for Neji.
Here's the thing.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, I've had it in the back of my mind that they gotta pull through.
You guys already have trust issues with this show, so I mean,
yeah. For all we know, you're lying too. We'll see.
That would be astute of you.
I just wrote down a note that said Neji can't die too. It's too soon, yeah?
I put, because I was like calling back to Final Fantasy a little bit when Neji goes like just full out there. I put limit break, like he's doing some Final Fantasy shit. And then the next one, these were all in caps too. Limit break, and then oh god, not Neji.
Yeah, it was not like a super satisfying win, because it felt like so like a tie. Does that make sense?
Why are you considering it a win?
Well, like because he stopped the guy.
Okay, true.
But they both stopped each other, right?
And I guess that's what I'm saying.
That's why
I guess that's why it
tie.
feels like, yeah, like a tie. Like it,
which
I guess,
happened with Jirobo and Choji. They both stopped
took each other out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, so because of that, it's not satisfying. But for some reason, Choji's was. And I think it's because like it was like a sacrifice on a purpose. And I realized that Neji's was too. but it just feels different for some
Well, he also got
weird
to like
reason.
walk away from the battle and like have the last step, if that makes sense. Like instead of the last laugh, he got to like
When you
find
say
his
he, do you
rest.
mean Choji?
Choji got to
Yeah.
find his like resting place, so to speak. Still holding out for that one. But it felt more satisfying to me because he like clearly took out Jirobo, but because of the chili pepper pill, we knew there was a consequence there, and that's what took him out, not
Yeah.
Jirobo.
Yeah, because okay, so it was a win. And that's why it feels different. That's great analysis from Zach
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Astute, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, I would
It's a
say
word
so.
that I came up with. Here's what I think about Choji, and I need to tell you all just a quick anecdote. Last week, I won't get too graphic with it. Last week, we made some shots here, not alcoholic shots. We made, I wish, compared to what this actually was. It was like ginger, turmeric, cayenne pepper, right? That destroyed my body for about 24 hours. I think this Choji thing with the red pepper, he just needs to like have some time to himself to recover. I don't think it means death. I think it means kind of a little death where he's just going to need to go be by himself. That's all. I think he
Okay.
pulls through. If you know what I mean.
Okay. No, I do know what you mean. But
A lot of poop.
we'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out.
Spicy ones too.
So after that, pretty much right after that, if I remember correctly, they catch up with the rest of them.
Mhm.
Correct. And then
Yes.
that's whenever like the four sequences kind of like take place between like Kimimaru and Naruto at the beginning, and then Shikamaru and what'd y'all say? Tayuya?
Tayuya.
Tayuya, and
She's
then
bad.
Kiba and the brothers and who am I missing?
Akamaru.
Oh no, Akamaru's with Kiba.
Those
That's all. There's
two,
just 3.
those four are the
Wait.
only people that fell.
There's just 3 left because Spider-Man's down and Jirobo's down.
Yes,
Right.
and then Kimimaru's who's makes up for the next like sequence because he takes Sasuke's coffin. Sorry, I got like really confused on like how many people were left. But
Yeah.
anyways, so those fights all start to happen. Um
But we also kept getting like scenes of Orochimaru and Kabuto. That might be what you're
yeah.
mixing in there.
Yes. Well, I'd completely forgotten about all that. That is some of the okay, so it's some of the like darkest isn't that's maybe a little too strong, but it's like darker side of Naruto for sure.
It's bleak
Like
for sure.
seeing all of like what?
It's definitely bleak.
Yeah. Like, and it's crazy. In the manga, it is way worse. Like they edited so much of it to make it not as bad because Orochimaru was like doing like horrible things. And we really should get up like some of the like examples of like the manga and show them on screen. I don't know if we can do that or not, but
Dude, I really want to know
it's
now.
crazy.
Because I
I
mean,
mean, I'll pull it up.
okay,
So
go
go
ahead, Zach.
ahead, Asher.
Oh my god. No, I'll do it real quick. He just had a bunch of people in his lair, his Batman lair, basically, right?
Yeah.
I guess Kabuto's Alfred in this scenario. And they're just sort of like imprisoned there waiting to be sacrificed. Either
Most of them are like held prisoner or like Orochimaru is like put them in a position that they're like being experimented on against their will. Like nobody's like
yeah.
besides like Kimimaru, like besides the select few who have Kekkei Genkai or some sort of like special ability that Orochimaru is after, they're and I think that by and large, if not everybody, has some sort of like weird ability or something about them that's there. But
Right.
to my understanding, like only a few are like they are to gain power and like therefore like willingly, I guess.
Right. So Kabuto is not Alfred in this scenario. He's more like Dr. Frankenstein. Also, there's a lot of technology going on there that we haven't seen so far. He's got like a whole wall of computers that he's using and running
Not to mention
experiments or
whatever
whatever.
Kimimaro was attached to or hooked up to.
Yeah, what the hell? So
Yeah.
weird.
Felt super cyberpunk for a little bit.
Yeah.
So let me ask my questions while you're looking up pictures of Orochimaru in the manga. I am super confused at this point with this specific arc. Okay. I'll just read you my notes.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know. So let me find it.
I'm glad you said that because this part just seemed, it was like good exposition, but confusing. And like, I don't fully understand what happened with the dude who he being Orochimaru, like consumed his body or whatever. Cause it seemed like right before that, did they just have a bunch of people murder each other? And this was the guy that like came out on top. So he was like, all right, I'll take this body.
I think
Like, are we to
gosh,
believe
I
that
can't remember.
that's what happened there?
So it's either so like, there's two parts of your question. First, what's happening between Orochimaru and the guy, that whole thing that we watched, and then like the screens turn red that Kabuto is watching, that is Orochimaru going inside that guy's body and like possessing it. That is the immortality jutsu. Um, where he's basically just taking over this dude's body, squashing his soul, and then essentially killing him, and then using that body. So I don't think that they fought to the death. I think it was it not like gas or something, and he was like the last to survive, or am I making that up?
Maybe that was it. I don't know. I mean, it kind of looked like they were in just a big chamber where, I mean,
Yeah.
if it was it was either that or they were made
Or
to
they
like
fought.
fight each other. And
Yeah.
there was some promise from Orochimaru, and that might have
It
been right
was
before he consumed him, right?
Yeah, so either way, that guy was the last guy standing for whatever reason, or however they measured that, whether it be fighting or what. He was the last one, so then like deemed worthy enough to
Yeah.
be the vessel in the meantime. Which it's also worth noting because they said it in the anime that if you're not paying attention for it, then it'll slip you by. Slip by you. The jutsu, the immortality jutsu, can only happen like once every 3 years. So since he just did it, he can't take Sasuke's body. Which, if he had got there in time, Sasuke would have been killed. Like,
Yeah.
already.
I made a
Yeah.
note of that. Like, Sasuke got lucky on that one because now he can actually live for another, I didn't know it was 3 years, but however many years.
Yeah. So 3 years.
That's my biggest confusion because like he definitely took a body.
Yeah.
And transferred to a new body because he was on the brink of,
Dying because
Extinction.
of the Reaper
sealing
death seal.
shoots. Yeah. So Kimimaru was only used to go recover Sasuke's coffin.
Ended up being that way because he got sick. He and his clan have a very crazy Kekkei Genkai in that bone structure, like all that wild like stuff, pulling bones out of everywhere.
I did not like any part of that. That like made me have a reaction to it. I was like, this is disgusting.
They also, yeah, it is gross. They also have a rare like illness or disease of some sort. So he got that. And before Orochimaru could switch into his body, because he was also under the time crunch, like prior with Kimimaru. And then and I think we get all this in the next batch if I'm correct, but I'll try to keep it pretty brief. Essentially, he got sick and couldn't be the vessel anymore because it would have been bad for Orochimaru to switch into a vessel that was going to die because of the illness.
That
The
would make
illness
sense.
is fatal.
That would make
So,
sense of him being hooked up to the like cyberpunk kind of stuff.
yeah. And so they were like, Kabuto was trying to help him and like take him out of pain. But then once they had realized that like how bad it was or whatever, he didn't feel like he had a purpose and all this stuff. And Kimimaru was like, this is my purpose, is to get the vessel for Orochimaru. So then he took off to go get it.
So that explains why Orochimaru says that even Kabuto is cruel for making him do that. Because like he's on his last leg anyways.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that was unique because Orochimaru is super cruel himself, and he's calling Kabuto cruel.
Yeah.
That added confusion, but that makes sense.
Yeah. And on top of that, Kimimaru wanted to be the vessel. Like that's what he felt like that was his life's purpose. So
well, and he told Orochimaru that.
Yeah. So it would be cruel to make him go get the vessel that he couldn't be. So, you know, double entendre right there.
Yeah, that's an extra layer to it because I kind of just looked surface level like that's cruel to make him go do that because he's sick or he's like, it looked like he was on his deathbed or something like in hospice care or whatever.
Yeah, and no, I think that's what we're led to believe.
Okay, yeah, but that's another dang. Okay, so Zach, did you want to go through some of your notes?
No, you guys just kind of cleared a lot of it up. That was kind of what I was trying to find and get to.
I'm glad because those were like the same kind of questions I was thinking too.
Yeah, because like there's like 3 different tabs I just put in all caps confused. And one of them was like, I thought Orochimaru wanted Sasuke more than anyone, but he already has a new body, and Kimimaru said that he wanted Sasuke more than anyone. Which is it? But that makes sense. He wants Sasuke still, but he's probably just gonna like hold him for a couple of years in like some kind of chamber.
I think Orochimaru wants one thing, and Orochimaru's tongue wants another thing, and that's what's going on here.
I think that's a good theory.
What, the tongue
about the
thing?
tongue?
No, what Zach's talking about with like having him, and the anime did tell us this because Kabuto says now it'll be 3 years before he can have Sasuke's body.
Okay.
So what's gonna happen in that time? Like, we'll find out, but yeah, it'll at least be then, and that's still the plan, is to get into Sasuke's body.
Yeah.
Pretty creepy, to be honest.
Super creepy.
So I have found plenty of differences between like the manga and anime on the Mario and Naruto at the same time. Naruto Wikipedia, but not the one that I'm looking for. So, you know, if I find it later, then I find it later. But it's distracting me so much. I'm just gonna come back to you guys.
I feel you. Oh, I did want to run back to Neji just for a second with his development. He does mention at one point he's a mediocre nobody was like the translation in the sub, and I was like, dang, like this was all that stuff that happened with Naruto and then with his uncle was like a real, I don't know, come to Jesus moment or something for him. There's a true 180 for that character. Yeah. So I hope that he makes it.
Yeah, we got a little more expose on Naruto's influence on Neji there. Like the whole flashback of him saying like, you know, you're not a failure, or I'm butchering it, but you know, I think that really, because he respects Naruto and like the fact that he's one of the, I mean, he says it to Kidomaru, one of the strongest people I've ever fought, you know. So it just makes me think he respects Naruto and like what Naruto said about him not being a failure. In the face of him being so cold to Naruto, I think it really like affect. I mean, we're just seeing the fruits of that, how it affected him.
Yeah.
And we mentioned that last episode too.
Mm.
The Naruto effect, as they say.
The
Believe it.
Naruto effect.
I believe it now.
Some talk no jutsu.
That's so funny.
You know who I'm missing right now though?
Who?
Jiraiya. I want to see more of my boy.
He ain't no
My-
liar.
My boy Big J.
Big J right there. I wanted to tell you all real quick. I was at a car dealership the other day for no reason, and this guy that I was talking to there saw me wearing this hat with Jiraiya on it, and he was like, "Hey, I used to watch that." And this dude was like a good between 10 and 20 years like older than me. And I was like, "Oh, for real? Like that's awesome." And he was like, "Oh, what's it called? What's it called?" And I was like, "Naruto." And he was like, "No." And I was like, "What?" And he was just like, "No, it was this other show." And I was like, "Does it look like somebody from a cartoon in the 90s?" And he was like, "Yeah, yeah." And that was me just like talking out of my ass, too. Like, I didn't have anything in mind when I said that. I was just like, this dude was probably watching cartoons in the 90s. And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, it looks just like somebody." And I was like, "Okay." And then I left.
I would be willing to bet money that he was talking about Dragon Ball Z just because of the hair.
That's so funny. I didn't even think of that because I don't associate Jiraiya with Dragon Ball Z, but that makes so much sense. Anyway, full of anecdotes today. Poop, Jiraiya. What's next?
Nosebleeds.
I haven't
Sorry,
had
I
one of
couldn't
those in a
resist.
while.
Thank goodness. I hate having nosebleeds.
I love it if you know what I mean.
Yep. Blood
I'm
do
just
be
kidding.
blood do be traveling. I made a note on
Oof.
here once we got into the battles with the other three after Neji. Shikamaru is the baddest of asses. He is just. I texted Logan a few times and not used that because I just wasn't sure how far you had watched, and I watched so fast. And I was like,
it was so fast. Literally, the
like
morning
5
after we
a.m.
recorded, he was texting me. Yeah, 5 a.m. I texted him back. I was like, Did you even go to bed or what?" And he was like, "Woke up at 5 and just watched some more." And I was like, "What in the world?" Yeah, he's a madman.
But yeah, Shikamaru, he is like, I can't think of anyone that I like more right now as a character.
What about you, Zach?
Oof. He's definitely earned a top spot, but Neji has earned a top spot too. Just the strength and humility combination that I can see in the future is like big leader potential in my eyes. Um, but yeah, Naruto keeps it in the top spot for me.
I hear
I
that.
love that.
Dude, Kiba too, though. These are like men. These are 13-year-old people who are acting like men. Like he's just sitting there with Akamaru when Sakon or Ukon or whoever it was, both, I guess, is coming up to stab him, and he's just like, "Go for it, dude. What am I gonna do? I've
Yeah.
done all I can do."
Yeah,
I didn't think that highly of. Oh, what is this? I didn't think that highly of Kiba necessarily, or I just didn't think much about Kiba, I guess is the more appropriate way of saying it. But after that battle and some flashbacks, I was like, it's cool. It's a cool guy.
early on, we were asked favorite characters based on like style, and Kiba was up there for me. I was a big fan of Kiba, but as I've seen Kiba in the wild, he keeps going down for me. I mean, he's like of of the pl- blah, 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 of the platoon, he is the least on board with anything that's about to happen. Like Naruto is having to tell him, "Hey, Shikamaru is our leader right now." Like I just I don't see like I hope he's redeemed, I'll say that. Because right now he's kind of on my annoying side.
Oh, it's a
I
hot
also
takes.
I don't like Kiva's character design. And I found him so annoying as a kid, and I still do. Like I
Whoa.
I just am not a fan of him. And even through the tuning exams, through this, it's like two bad experiences that have jaded his entire like time in Naruto that we've seen.
Okay. Y'all have a power play right now. 2 against 1. Why was this one a bad experience though? Was it just like them leading up to these battles? Because like,
Yeah, for me it's just I find the character annoying.
It's
So
the
it's
arrogance for me. It's like
yeah, that's what I agree with
he
that.
he thinks he knows better, but in like a serious tone. Like Naruto, when he's being arrogant, it's like confidence. Kiba's arrogance is like, don't get in my way because I deserve the glory.
But it's like
And
he's not that good.
right. I will say
whoa.
Wolf Fang over Fang was pretty cool. But when I heard that it was drool, I don't know. It's weird to me.
Did you want it to be PP? Because there was PP before.
No, I just wanted it to be maybe the swiftness of their movement. I didn't want it to be a water tornado of dog drool.
Wow. All right. Well, Kiba stands. Get at me, I guess. Don't talk to these other two. I don't know. This is weird. No, I like it. I mean, I have respect for him because he stayed behind and fought this dude, and it wasn't like, oh, I
Because he
have.
got trapped. If he hadn't
Yeah,
been
he fell
if he
down in
hadn't
that
fell
cliff.
down, he wouldn't have sacrificed himself. I
But he
fully believe he
But he
wouldn't
didn't have to stay there. Like he could have run. He could
He
have run
tried
instead of.
twice. He literally tried twice. Am I wrong?
I don't
Gotta save
remember.
Akamaru, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well, that was the final one, but he tried to get away twice before that in the middle.
maybe I don't know if this is like a sub versus dub thing, but I don't find him arrogant. That's really interesting. And I didn't watch any dub for these. I planned on it, but I didn't actually get to it.
And I will fully admit that my exposure as a child to the dub has completely given me a bias. Like even through the sub, it's because I know like how I felt about him before.
Yeah.
So I'm saying there's a good chance that there is a tone difference between the sub
Sure.
translation and dub, but I don't know.
Well, that's what makes me wonder, and I want to go back and watch some of those with him in dub and just see. But to me, like when they were in the, I don't know, in the dome or whatever, Jirobo's like Earth dome prison thing.
Yeah.
He just, in the sub at least, seemed like on a level playing field with Naruto as far as arrogance, confidence, whatever you want to call it. And through all these, I kind of saw them on a more level playing field. So.
And
That's
so
interesting.
I don't disagree with that. The reason I said what I said at the beginning was Shikamaru kind of laid down the law of like, hey, I've got a plan, be quiet. Naruto followed suit, and Kiba was still like on the edge of like, I don't like this. You know, it didn't feel like he was like fully on board with like, yeah, let's just do his plan. I don't know. It
I'm
just
gonna
seems like it's his way or nothing.
I'm just gonna argue real quickly, and we're not arguing. We're not mad at each other. I mean, you're mad
I'm
at me. I'm not
pissed.
mad at you. I think you have orange rose-colored Naruto glasses on because, like, during the Tayuya fight, Naruto's the one that is like jumping at her when Shikamaru's like, "Hey, we need to chill and like make a plan," and then Naruto's just like, "Ah," and does his Naruto thing. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Solid point.
Yeah, it is for sure. But again, I think Naruto is passionate and I think Kiba is arrogant.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I accept that.
You better, because if not, why
I enjoy disagreeing with you. This is fun.
Yeah.
So
We agree on a lot, though.
That's very true. And we agree on Lee at this point as well. And I think we all agree on the drunken.
well, before we get to the drunken
That's
fist,
true.
I want
That's
to talk
true.
about Naruto producing 1,000 clones, but not all
Dude.
not all attacking at one time is for like I can't get past it in my head. Like I can hear that like some sort of weird argument of like I don't even know. I can't even come up with an argument as to why they would just stand there. And
The note I made at the end of 119, miscalculation, a new enemy appears, is Naruto made about 1,000 clones. And then in that next episode, I was like, this has happened before. When he makes such a huge amount, it's like, does their power level go down, or maybe their individual hive mind intelligence? That doesn't make sense. Individual hive mind, whatever. Does their intelligence level go down or something because he's made so many, but they all just get obliterated?
yeah,
Like no
I don't
strategy
really
to it.
know because like yeah, that and it annoys me because we've seen him produce a ton of clones before. And the first time he did it with
Is that episode 1?
Mizuki, I think is his name. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is episode 1. And they all attack him at once.
They like
So
pile
it's
on,
probably
right?
just, story like armor or whatever you want to call it to like display or show Kimimaru's power, but it just feels off whenever he produces that many and at once, and then like they just stand there. It just feels weird. Zach, do you have such a strong opinion like we do, or are you?
I do. I feel like it's dual sided. One, I feel like he was just so enraged with the thought of Sasuke being stolen that he went into the Nine-Tailed Fox pre-form. It was like right on the edge. His chakra glow was red. Like we saw the whiskers almost. I don't know what you would call that.
I say
Yeah,
whiskers, yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
whiskers.
The teeth and the eyes, all that stuff. So I feel like maybe he wasn't thinking straight when it came to Kimimaru, because here's a new guy that's doing some weird stuff that I think he was just trying to observe. I don't think that that's necessarily the move, though. Like, I don't think that, he's in the right there. But also, he's done that a few times where he's done like a barrage of clones and it's never effective. So he's like maybe trying to be a little more strategic with how he does it to like, what's the word? Like tire Kimimaru out if he thought that might work.
That could make sense. Like 3 or
Yeah.
4 or 5 at a time.
Yeah. But obviously it didn't. But he at least got to see who his enemy is in the future.
That's a great point.
Like,
I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, same. I like that theory a lot too. So,
but then, real quick, when he fought Kabuto, when it was Jiraiya, Tsunade, Orochimaru, there's just 2. It's just him and one clone, and he like figured out a great strategy for it. So I guess maybe it's the enraged aspect of like going into pre Nine-Tailed Fox, like Zach said, that maybe clouds that kind of strategery and judgment a little bit. I don't know. Just theories.
Yeah. Because like I think that I don't know. I'm starting to think that Zach's right because I mean he can control how many clones he makes, but to pour out the amount of chakra that he needed to make 1,000 clones. Like it was purely out of rage, and I think that's also evident just from like how they converse at the end of that episode before he does all that. So, but yeah, I think Zach's right. Thinking about it. Good thought, Zach.
That fits with like
Thank
Naruto's
you.
passionate side too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on, some
Speaking
things
of
happen in the
passion.
episodes, but later on in this fight, Rock Lee, did you guys foresee that at all? Like, or were you completely blindsided? Like, what did y'all think?
I was
If you
completely
knew
blindsided.
that was coming, you had seen a spoiler.
Okay.
I never
Yeah.
once considered maybe Asuma, maybe Kakashi, maybe Guy,
I thought
but
Guy.
never Rock Lee.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you. And at the same time, it is such a Rock Lee thing to do. Like it was not out of left field and it wasn't something that was out of left field and at the same time not something he would just do.
Not predictable.
Exactly. Yeah, predictable. Thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I love this fight between Kibimaru and Rock Lee, just because of the drunken fist and how he dodges. Mainly when he dodges while he's asleep, I love that part. It's like quintessential.
So stupid. It's such like a goof. Like and a very serious battle to be so goofy at points. And that's why I texted both y'all and I was like, Guy Sensei is like off his rocker. Like he does not have control of anything, I don't think.
Also
except
very
how
passionate.
many. Yeah. And it's clouding his judgment because he thinks he needs to do 1,000 laps around the Leaf Village on his hands or whatever. That's fine. But I was saying that because he let him get drunk before. That was the only reason that I
Well, it was
think.
an
multiple
accident.
occasions.
No,
Oh, it was?
It was an accident because he mistook Guy Sensei's water for or he mistook his sake for his own water.
That's right.
He said that he also had a dragon's breath, which was another drink at a different time, and it also caused him to go into a rage.
Whoa.
So there you go.
Guy needs to cool it on the alcohol with the miners.
Yeah.
Arc.
100%.
But Asher, if you were ever to watch dub, it should be strictly for Rock Lee and Guy's voices.
So
because
I watched dub for 124, the last one of this batch. I actually wanted to hear Gara, Tamari, and Conqueror's voice work because I don't think I've actually experienced them in dub at all. And they delivered. But hearing Lee and Guy in like the flashbacks, I was like, this is perfect. These are they found the perfect people doing the perfect voices for these two. Insane.
Yeah, they're iconic.
I love it when he like shows up out of nowhere. And it's the way that he has this like dry delivery of like the most enthusiastic lines. In 123, when he shows up, he's like, "It is I, the rejuvenated Leaf Village's handsome devil, Rock Lee."
It is I. Oh my god.
That's the other thing too. Like we can see at least the title of each episode, and I'm trying not to look too far down or whatever. But the Leaf's handsome devil, I assumed that was going to be Guy Sensei showing up. Because, okay, this is kind of strange to me, and maybe it's a Tsunade being a wise leader thing, but Guy Sensei, for whatever reason, is not out on missions right now.
No, he was.
Was he?
Yeah, because whenever he came back from, when they realized that Lee had left the hospital, he had just come back from a mission.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, "What's wrong? Did something happen on the mission?" And he says, "No, the mission was completely fine. Went off without a hitch. As soon as I finished, I ran back here as fast as I could to see if
Lee.
his surgery was a success or not."
Okay, I'm gonna go back on what I said too, because Guy fighting with Kakashi when Orochimaru first tries to take over and destroy the leaf was some badassery. So forget what I said about him possibly being incompetent. But he did let a minor have alcohol 3 times now. So
yeah. Well, no, let's not charge this last one to Guy.
That was on Tsunade.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a difference. Sorry, go ahead, Zach.
To me, when they said elixir, I don't know if that was a translation thing.
That's actually exactly what I was going to bring up. Here's a difference between the dub and sub. That elixir is a nicer way, and I even looked it up to make sure. Elixir is basically a combination of alcohol and water and maybe a few other things to qualify as like medicine. That's like the technical definition of what an elixir is. So it does have alcohol in it, but that's a nicer translation than what's actually happening. Like that's just actual sake. And she just like got the bottles mixed up. So that's like actual, just like rice wine, not some sort of like alcohol and water medicine like an elixir is.
Wait,
so I don't know why they wouldn't just call it sake or alcohol or something. I guess it was maybe a censoring issue to put on children's TV.
That's interesting. I thought though that Lee was the one who just grabbed the wrong thing.
He did. So she had like
she's the one who left them together though, right?
Yeah, no, sorry. So she switched bottles and left the sake there. Then when he left, he just assumed that was his medicine, so he picked it up and didn't read it. Because that symbol there means sake or alcohol.
Come on, fifth Hokage.
Yeah,
let's get this together.
Treating patients while drinking, that's what I want to talk about.
I would do that.
Does that clear that up? Did I stumble around it enough, Zach, or no?
Yeah, I don't even remember what we were talking about. Like
basically you had brought up that they said elixir.
Yeah.
In the sub it says sake and alcohol.
I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just in the vein of talking about this medicine, can we just appreciate the fact that both parties in this fight allowed that medicine to be taken? Like he literally yells, "1 moment, please." Like, and Kimimara's like, what's going on? He's like, "I must take my medicine." And it was like, we're fighting, you know? And
I could see that from a villain standpoint, being like, well, I don't want this dude to be like sick and me defeat a sick guy. I want him to be at like full power, so I know I like messed him up.
But if you're about to kill him, like, what's the point of the medicine?
Just in case he doesn't die.
I just got a leg cramp. That's why I like kicked away from my desk. I know probably only the two of y'all saw that, but
I didn't even notice it.
Okay. It was very scary.
Well, he takes the medicine or sake and gulps it, dude. Like, and I hate the taste of sake. It tastes awful. So somehow he stomachs it. And then Drunken Fist. There were some drawings in there that were absolutely suspect.
Wait, like, what do you mean?
Like when he's like fighting Kimimaro, I know Zach knows exactly what I'm talking about because he's laughing so hard. But like, dude, later in that fight sequence, there are some frames that somebody had to draw that, dude. Somebody was drawing Rock Lee's butt just like jiggling through the air. Like that's essentially what it was. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like that's what it is. So
It was also the like MySpace from 2004 like shot of like top down view of Kimimaro and like this fisheye lens. Just some of those in that field, dude. They were experimenting at the
they,
studio.
they were. They absolutely were. It was I don't know. I love that fight, but every single time that's all I see is just like the weirdest drawing choices for animating all this. But then yeah, they get saved. Asher evidently called it. This was one of the things he texted me and said, like, as soon as Kiba said or whatever it was,
he said, "Oh, they're here too." He's like, "Oh
yeah.
crap!" It's while he's in the river, like trying to escape with Akamaru. The note that I put was, "I bet it's the sand."
That's
like,
crazy. I can't believe you guessed.
Well,
that.
like who else could it be? Like who else would Kiba or anyone from the Leaf be aware of that he would be like, "Oh crap, it's them." It just like it was the first thing that popped into my head. But
for some reason, I guess I'm misremembering, but for some reason I thought when the sand shows up to like soften the blow of whoever fell, I thought it was Rock Lee and Kimimaro. I didn't think it was Kiba and Sanko. Or Sakan.
It was Gara who comes to
Sanko.
Lee. Gara comes to Lee's aid and like lays him down with the sand, basically.
Yeah,
is what it
so
looks
Gara's,
like.
Who came to the aid of Kiba?
Konkuro.
So they split up.
Yeah. And they only show that for a second. The 3 like line drawings to depict them running or jumping or whatever.
Like through grass too.
Yeah, like through like grass and trees. They're like showing them like bit by bit. But right before, like maybe 5 minutes before they reveal who it is, the 3 lines like split into 3 different ways. Like in these random trees.
Yes.
And that's supposed to be them.
So it was like one of those moments where I interpreted that as like, so what happened was they just said the same line in 3 different scenes, but I saw that as like they were filling each other's sentences and all saying that to Kiba, to Kimimaro and Rock Lee of like, we're all here together to help Rock Lee. But that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're all saying they're just, one of those anime things. They all say the exact same thing and they just patch it together or whatever.
Honestly makes it so much better for me now. I need to go back and rewatch it because I want to watch the Rock Lee Drunken Fist fight anyways. But I want to see that, and now that I understand it, because the chills it gave me. Freaking Sand Village.
The fact that it's Gara too, like coming to his rescue, and I texted Logan about this too. It was so funny to me that Shikamaru is once again. By the way, that fight was pretty badass, and him like watching her fingers. He's like, I don't know anything about music, but I'm gonna find patterns and stuff. It was really cool, but it was just funny that he is for the 3rd time fighting a girl, probably feeling a certain way about it that he shouldn't. And then Tamari comes to his aid, and he's just like, he's got this whole arc of like his dad and his mom. What does he say? His dad is
like being like women are a drag or whatever.
Basically, yeah.
Man,
and like,
what a drag.
Why is my dad just so like tied to my mom's apron strings is what he said. That was so funny to me. And he's about to get it. I think he's just about to like understand a little bit more of having a relationship with someone.
Yeah, I can definitely see that as like building blocks for development for his character too.
Yeah,
because everybody's got a flaw that they're working on, and we can all see the like obstacles to get there and like the things that help make that development come to life.
Yeah.
I could just predict right now that someday he's going to have mad respect for all women.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure I hope Tamari's gonna like rub it in a little bit. I just think that would be funny. Big fan. Get it? Big fan.
Stop it.
Should we end here? Should we end
Oh.
on that one? No, maybe not. Okay, so I have a question for you, Zach, about this Gara
Hang
thing.
on. Okay,
go
yeah.
ahead. No, you do it. You do
We
it.
can't end before we talk about one thing, but go ahead.
Well, the Gara thing's kind of the last thing. Do you want to do
No,
something else
it's
first?
not.
All right.
But while we're talking about Gara and the Sand Village, go ahead.
Okay, I think that Gara has turned a corner for sure. He apologizes to Tamari and Konkuro. Like, that's the last thing we saw from him, right? So I think he is either made a 180 or he's making a 180. Like, he is starting to care about people more. I mean, why would he save Lee, right? But I think he still has some rage. And I think once he realizes, or if he already knows what Sasuke has done and what Sasuke's decisions have been lately, he wants to kill him. What do you think?
Kill Sasuke?
Oh, yeah. He's like, I still have this dark passenger that needs to be fed. So, Sasuke,
This is
let's
such
eat you up.
This is such a loose thought for me because I didn't expect Gara at all. So I have no clue. Like, other than him saying we're allies of the Leaf Village, or they said that they're allies of the Leaf Village.
No, he's a he.
Well, all
No,
three of
they
them
as in the three of
essentially
them.
say,
Yeah,
Yeah,
this show was not woke
ridiculous.
in the early thousands, Zach.
no.
Okay, they all three. I get it.
They all said they're allies. Man, you've confused me.
Konkuro, Tamari, and Gara say they're allies of the Leaf.
Yes, in parallel scenarios.
Yes. They rehearsed it for sure.
Had to. I think that Naruto and Gara are going to have a conversation. And I think Naruto might be able to show Gara why he's worth rescuing or bringing back. And I see that being a different thing entirely. But we also haven't seen, which is what I was going to bring up, Sasuke was revealed. This is what the whole mission is about. He finally stepped out of the coffin. And
Oh yeah.
he had
Dude, I
big old hair.
I didn't even. Oh, I made a note about the hair. I completely forgot though.
Right.
Where
Big
did I put
hair
that?
and a very sinister, creepy laugh. Like, I said, this is not Sasuke.
Right. Where did
Like,
I put that? Yeah, I put Sasuke with big hair somewhere in my notes. Oh, that was in 123 that happened too.
right.
Weird.
So that's when Rock Lee shows up because Naruto needs to go after Sasuke. And Rock said, go for it. I've got this.
Sasuke runs away. That's what happened.
Sasuke runs away and Naruto goes after him alone. So
Yep.
we're going to see more of that in the next batch. I guarantee it. But depending on that interaction is where I'm going with the Gara scenario. Because we're going to see more Gara. We're going to see more Rock Lee. Or no, we're going to see more Gara. We're going to see more Sasuke. We're going to see more Naruto. I feel like it's too early to feel anyway. I want to believe the best in Gara.
That he doesn't want to murder anymore.
Maybe not murder, maybe murder with a justification.
Sure.
Or like
But-
vigilante.
Exactly.
Yeah, like what we would consider the good guy side. Like if he kills
Yes.
Kimimaro, then justified.
Sure. I I don't know. I don't see it being that cold anymore, but that's just my hope.
Yeah, I think overall I would agree with you. I don't think he's going to be as cold, but I mean, after a lifetime up to this point of like murdering and feeling the need to do that to justify his existence, I don't think that would turn around that quickly unless we get a flashback, which I don't know that we will with so little time left in OG Naruto. But I could see it flashing back in him like really sitting down and going to therapy basically before this instance of us seeing him or something.
Yeah. Well, next time we will get the culmination of the entire Naruto story for part one, which is absolutely wild to have done it in as little as just around 5 months, really.
I'm not ready.
Yeah, it's wild to be at the end of it. We'll see if Naruto can bring Sasuke back, what happens. Like Zach said, they're kind of building up um for the end. So we will find out. Next time we're going to be watching the rest, which obviously we're skipping quite a few filler episodes. So it'll be 125 through 135 and then you skip all the way to 220, which is the last episode of Naruto in Naruto original. And then we will have a series recap and then we'll be on to Shippuden. So, or Shippuden, which I'm still working on. But any other things that you guys want to talk about or that we forgot?
Just a quick question. So that's like 10 or 11 episodes, and then we skip 84 episodes and then go to 220. Like they had that much filler in there.
Yeah, it was
That
a
is
lot.
wild.
Yeah, so there's technically like after 135, maybe around like 142, 143 around there, there's technically two mixed canon and filler episodes, but they cover it in the very beginning of Shippuden. So it's not worth watching right now. Because most of it's filler and they just rehash it anyways. So
Gotcha.
but yeah, we will go from 135 straight to 220. And 220 has some filler in it too. You're going to be a little lost at the beginning, but just hang in there. You'll get what you need.
Cool. I wanted to make one last comment about Kiba when
Okay.
he gets sort of not possessed, but like fused with Sakon.
Yeah.
He is totally ready to just like basically off himself to like kill this guy and save his friends. So that's all.
Pretty serious stuff. They're all ready to die. And I would agree with Zach that Kiba was like maybe the least like into it or behind everything. But I mean, he's still, whenever it counted, he
Can I throw
came
a
through.
knife in your side on that theory? Pun intended.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I feel like he only was going to kill because there was no way to escape.
Maybe. We'll see next time on Dragon.
I don't think I don't think it was to save his friends. I think it was to save himself.
Interesting.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
just a big fan. I'm not gonna let you convince me otherwise. See now,
Good.
here's the thing too. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you're like wrong necessarily. At this point, I'm hoping that I'm more correct than what your opinion is so far. That's all. Because otherwise, I don't like him anymore.
And I hope I always hope that there's a better story in anybody, but Kiba's got to convince me at this point.
I feel that. I feel that. I had to be convinced by Rock Lee, so I've been there a little bit. I did want to say one other thing about the sound ninja. I just wonder if we're gonna find any excuse, any backstory to have any like compassion on them at all. And I think if we do, it's gonna come in the form of seeing how Orochimaru manipulated them. And I'm not like holding out hope for that because I think there's room in anything for like actual villains who are just like bad, you know? But at the same time, like I wonder if they were manipulated and it was like, hey, he didn't give us a choice, basically, but to follow after him and he promised us these powers in this life, and if we didn't, then it was going to be death, and we just didn't choose death. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm on the fence there because like
same.
with sound, or sorry, with sand, everybody except for Gara, Tamari, and Konkuro seemed pretty normal. They had similar attire. They were organized and structured. Gara, Konkuro, and Tamari had their own personalities, but so do Naruto, Sasuke, everybody we've seen that are growing up, um, and respectfully in their own, village. And I'm getting that from the backstory with Gara and his teacher and like seeing inside the sand village. Um, Whereas in the sound village, they all feel like intentional villains. They feel like sinister people. It doesn't feel like Tayuya has a redeemable quality about her. She just seems like she's got something that's evil about her.
Right.
And that's one of the more tame people, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Especially their second forms. Like, I don't see anything about them that's like manipulated. I feel like they're just like, oh yeah, this is the leader we've always needed. And it's like, to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, Logan, because the Sound Village is so new, these are kind of like outcasts from other villages making their way to the Sound Village, right?
Yeah.
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 See,
I don't see them as like redeemable.
but I think even just you saying that they're outcasts makes me think, well, there's got to be a reason that they're outcasts. And I would totally agree that some of them are probably outcasted or excommunicated because like they've done bad things. But I just wonder if some of them were like, hey, what if they're Gara types and they're like, hey, I'm really powerful and I never asked for this, but Orochimaru steps in to manipulate it for his own
See,
benefit.
even that, like, I'm not saying outcasts like your typical high school Hollywood scenario where you've got the nerd who just doesn't get along with anybody.
You're saying they got kicked out for doing bad
Either
stuff.
kicked out or they Itachi themselves and ran away because they have other plans. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, and I think part of this like difference in opinion could be like a little bit of semantics because like I agree with Zach that like they're not redeemable, but I also don't know if like they don't feel redeemable right now at least. But I also don't know if Asher maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it doesn't feel like maybe like being empathetic towards them is different than like they are redeemed.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because we could get backstory on them and it would be empathetic, but not like they're in the right. It'd be like, I see how you got there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm only saying that because that's what happened in my mind with Gara. It was like, well, he's just evil. He's just pure evil. He's out to kill. But then we got backstory. And it's like, well, there's a reason for all of this. And I'm not saying he should have murdered people or should continue, but it at least made sense of like his situation. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
for
I
sure.
mean, I could definitely see it going on as them just being like bad, sinister people. And I'm okay with that, but I just wonder if they've taken the time to do what they've done with Gara in the story. Maybe there's something to it. And for Orochimaru for that matter. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he just seems bad and nasty with the tongue.
Oh my god. Well, either way, next time 125 through 135 and then all the way to 220. One last call. Anything else? I'm going to take that as a no from both of you for just staring at me. I hate that the camera's only on me.
I don't think we
No,
meant
Logan,
to do that to you.
That wraps it up for me, man.
Thank you, Zach, for the answer. All right.
That
well
also
then,
wraps it up for me, Logan.
in our penultimate episode, we will see you.
I'm pretty sure it wraps it up for me.
This was the penultimate episode. So we'll see you in our
I also
final
feel
episode.
a good rap on my end.
Great. All right. 125 through 135 and then 220. We'll see you there.
Wrap it up is what they said in my head.
And I oblige to the rap.